Hey y'all, it's Austin Moore with Austin Moore and Company Real Estate. Thanks for joining me for a quick look at the latest Longview market numbers. Whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just curious about what's happening in East Texas real estate, this update will give you a clear picture of where things stand right now. The newest housing data was just released and it shows some interesting shifts. The median sales price in Longview is currently $255,000, which is a slight decrease of 0.8% compared to this time last year. It's not a dramatic change, but it does reflect a market that's starting to settle after a few years of rapid movement. Things are more stable and in many ways more predictable than they've been in a while. Looking at the price distribution, over 55% of homes sold recently were in the $200,000 to $299,000 range. That's still the sweet spot for most buyers in our area. About 16% sold between $300,000 and $400,000, and just under 10% were in the $100,000 to $200,000 range. On the higher end, around 8% of homes sold between $400,000 and $500,000, and 6.6% closed between $500,000 and $750,000. So while we're seeing activity across the board, most of the movement is still happening in the mid-range price points. Now let's talk inventory. There are 315 active listings in Longview right now. That's a 39.4% increase from this time last year. That's a big shift and great news for buyers. More listings means more choices and less pressure to rush into a decision. Closed sales dropped slightly with 63 homes sold, down 7.4% year over year. That reflects what we're seeing on the ground. Buyers are being a little more patient and intentional, and the urgency that defined the last couple of years has eased up. As a result, homes are taking longer to sell. The average is now 59 days on the market, plus another 34 days to close once under contract. That's a total of 93 days from listing to sold, which is 36 days longer than what we saw this time last year. And finally, months of inventory has risen 5.1, up from 3.6 months a year ago. That's a clear sign that we're moving towards a more balanced market, one that favors preparation and strategy over speed and competition. So here's the bottom line. If you're selling, now's the time to be thoughtful. With more competition out there, things like pricing, presentation, and timing really matter. If you're buying, this market is giving you room to breathe. You've got more inventory to choose from, more negotiating power, and a better shot at getting into the right home without the frenzy. And if you're just watching from the sidelines, that's okay too. We're here to keep you informed so that whenever the time is right, you'll be ready to make a confident move. If you want help breaking down what all of this means for you personally, for your neighborhood or your next step, just reach out. We'd love to help. Real estate, real simple. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.